Hey, what's going on guys? So we'll be taking a look at this kind of lighting kit, or I guess kind of a backdrop, just kind of a studio recording kit from Excelvan. It's sold by a store called Sevesto on Amazon, but the actual kind of brand name that this is listed under is called Excelvan. So we'll go ahead and see kind of what this is all about. I'm going to do kind of a time-lapse video showing the setup of all of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of show the actual parts and kind of what they do and how well they function and all of that. So as you can see, this is just the box that they come in. Inside of here we can see we have kind of the backdrops and things like that, and then just a bunch of boxes and bags, and yeah, so I'm not going to do much of an unboxing for this. I'm just going to be kind of doing a time-lapse showing you all of the setup and all of that. So I'll kind of get this all set up. It should take a while. I'm guessing it'll take an hour or maybe longer. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get the time-lapse started, and I will see you guys once it's all set up. Alright guys, so I do have everything kind of set up. It actually didn't take all that long to set up. It took me about 30 minutes, probably a little less honestly, to set everything up. So that's to get all the lights and the kind of green screen onto the pole and all of that stuff. So really wasn't actually that bad. I was pretty surprised. However, there aren't really any instructions. Like if you look here, the extent of the instructions are like these things that just kind of say everything that's included with it. Let's see, we have, it just has some specifications about it. And then it literally just says like, well, what's included, and it says features 2x lighting set, and yeah, so it just says what's included, which isn't all that useful for actually setting it up. However, I didn't really struggle with it all that much. You have these kind of 4 poles that go up there, as you can see. I only have 2 of them in now, which I'll get into, but you do have the 4 poles that go up there, and then you have this little kind of tripod set up here. So it does have a little setup that, you know, you put the metal poles up here onto the actual kind of tripod thing down there. So that piece wasn't all that difficult to figure out, and then it just kind of secures up there. As you can see, it has a little wing nut. It just kind of screws down on the top of here, which secures the bar to the pole that's actually holding it up. It's pretty tall. I'm about 6 foot tall, and it's about probably 6 inches above my head, so it's about 6'6". It's not bad at all as terms of height and everything like that. You should be able to accompany like most people. If you're trying to record somebody on a green screen or something like that, you shouldn't have to worry too much about them being taller than the green screen, which is always a good thing. So as you can see in the little area I have it in, the 4 poles wouldn't really fit across the top. I mean, obviously they would, but it would cover the door, and that's not good. So I just have 2 of the poles up here, which means that the green screen fabric is a little bit scrunched because the green screen of course is made for the 4 poles. So you can see the 2 extra poles down there. They are not being used, of course, but if you wanted to, you can make this a lot wider, which is nice. As you can see, I only have 2 of the poles up there, but however, you can use the 2 extra poles if you want to. So that's cool. As you can see, it's a little bit scrunched up here, like you can kind of move it around a little bit more, and yeah. So it's just kind of extra green screen fabric because it is kind of made for using with 4 of the poles. However, as you can see here, I'm only using 2, which isn't bad. It's nice that you're actually able to use 2 in case you want to use the green screen in a kind of smaller environment. You have the option of only using 2 of the poles, or even 1 if you want to be even more extreme. However, with 1, I think the tripods kind of get in the way of each other. So 2, I would say, is probably the minimum. However, if you want to use all 4 poles, you are totally able to, which is cool. As you can see here, I have the green screen fabric up here. However, there is a white backdrop and a black backdrop down there, and they all have the kind of stitching for the pole, so they all just kind of go on the pole. And if you would want to replace the fabric here, you just kind of unscrew this and lift off the pole, pull off the green screen fabric, and then you can go ahead and put on whatever color backdrop you want. It's also not hard to make these backdrops, so say you want to kind of buy some fabric on your own or something like that, and then just kind of fold it over and stitch it, then you're able to put this on the pole here, and you can kind of use whatever fabric you want. And as for the actual sturdiness and all of that, they're not very sturdy. However, they're sturdy enough if you're just kind of like messing around. However, like for professional use and things like that, I would definitely want something sturdier. But yeah, the tripods and everything like that move around really, really easily, and they're kind of light and pretty cheap feeling. Like I would not have any problem breaking one of these metal bars with 2 hands, just kind of bending it. So that's just kind of an idea of the quality. It's not ridiculously cheap. It's a little bit cheaper than kind of what I was expecting for this $150 price range. It still works, as you can see here. It holds up the fabric very well, and it's not going to like fall down or anything like that. It just might rock and things like that if you bump it, which isn't terrible unless you're filming something. So it's not like I'm worried about it falling down or anything like that, but it's a little bit cheap. And yeah, that's just a kind of green screen or just the backdrop holder here. We'll get into the more exciting thing in my opinion, which is the lights here. As you can see, I have both of the lights on, which is almost all of this light. I'll go ahead and turn off all of the lights, so I'll give you an idea of how much light just these two lights provide here. So as you can see here, it is still pretty lit up with just the two lights on it. This is the lights with the diffusers on them, so it's not even like the direct bulbs or anything like that. These are just the two lights with the diffusers on them, and as you can see, it lights up the green screen pretty well. So as you can see here, the lights are fully adjustable and everything like that. To actually secure the light onto the tripod kind of setting here, there's a little thing that it kind of screws into. So this piece here simply pushes onto this metal bar here, which holds the light onto the actual tripod. The light's angle is also very easily adjustable, so if you want to adjust the angle of the light, you can simply twist the little thing here and then the light's gonna fall like that. And yeah, you are totally able to adjust the angle of the light and everything like that. Right now, as you can see, I have the light positioned vertically. However, if you want to, you can totally flip the light around and position it horizontally. It just depends on what you're shooting and all of that. I'm using it this way because it saves a little bit more space. As for how the lights are actually powered and all that, you simply plug them into your standard wall outlet, and then you have this little switch here which you can use to turn on and off the light, as you can see here. So it's not like you have to just unplug them to turn them off or anything like that. You do have this nice little switch here which makes turning them on and off very, very easy. The heat produced actually wasn't all that bad in comparison to the size of the bulb. The bulb itself is actually massive. It's definitely like the biggest bulb I've ever seen. It's not like multiple bulbs as I was kind of expecting. Generally kind of diffusers and light boxes like this have a set of 4, 5, or 6 bulbs kind of set in an array inside of here. Instead, this one just has this one massive bulb. So that's kind of convenient in the sense that you won't have to buy a bunch of bulbs to replace it, but you will have to buy this one bulb, which is a very, very specific bulb, I'm sure, so I'm not sure how easy it would be to find a replacement for it. But the overall kind of setup of the lights is pretty simple. It's very similar to the setup of the green screen deal over there. I'll go ahead and turn this light back on. It is pretty simple. You do simply kind of set up the light box, you screw the light bulb into it, you put on a little diffuser thingy, hook it over all the corners and hook it onto the Velcro on the sides here. Then you attach the entire thing to the kind of tripod setup that I showed you earlier. As far as portability goes, everything is actually pretty compact, and once it is all kind of broken down and everything like that, there is a carrying case that it comes with it, which is ideal for carrying all of the gear that is included with this kit, and all of the gear does actually fit in the carrying case. So you do have this nice little carrying case that comes with it. It's a pretty unstructured carrying case, but you can kind of put everything inside of it, and it's just a large bag, and then you are able to kind of carry this kit around you wherever you go, and then you can just kind of set it up wherever you would like to. Breaking it down and everything like that is pretty simple, and so it's nice that it is kind of portable despite how large of a kit it is. Of course, a big part of this kit is the actual green screen itself, and I can say that it works fairly well, but you will definitely kind of have to know what you're doing in order to kind of get optimal results. This is mostly due to the material of the green screen. It's not with the kit or the light or anything like that, but this is just kind of a fabric green screen, so it will have folds and creases and shadows and things like that, and so you will definitely have to kind of work those out. The shadows can definitely be avoided if you kind of know what you're doing with the lighting kit and everything like that. The lighting kit is definitely powerful enough to create some pretty good kind of light onto the actual green screen, which is something you definitely need. You need sufficient light in order to properly use a green screen, and with this kit you definitely have that. What I was talking about with the kind of creases and everything like that is just kind of the nature of the green screen. This green screen will come with folds in it and everything like that because it is folded, and to get rid of that you will have to get like a fabric steamer or something like that and just kind of get the creases out, or maybe you can iron the entire thing if you really want to do that, but you do just kind of have to get all the creases out, and if you leave it up then you should not have to get the creases out very frequently, but if you are kind of storing it and putting it away and taking it back out again and all of that, you will definitely have to deal with creases over and over again, and that is just kind of not all that much fun. That is basically just kind of what you'll have to do with any fabric green screens. It's not necessarily a fault of this. The main thing you're looking for is the lights, and the lights in this kit are very, very good and powerful. However, the only thing I'm worried about is kind of how long the bulbs will last and everything like that, because I can't imagine the bulbs will be cheap or easy to replace. Although other than lighting, probably the biggest factor on how well a green screen clip turns out is the editing software used for it. For the clips I just showed you, I was using Sony Vegas Pro 13, which really doesn't work very well for chroma keying, which is, removing the green color from the video. So if you were to use something like Final Cut Pro or something like that, you would definitely get a lot better green screen effect than you saw here. As you can see, there's still kind of a green tint around the objects that I'm showing and things like that, and that is almost strictly due to the software. It's very limited on Sony Vegas, so like I said, if you were to use something like Final Cut Pro or something like that, you would get a much better green screen result, and so how my videos look aren't necessarily the fault of the green screen as much as the fault of Sony Vegas. But yeah, anyway, if you guys are still here, thank you guys very much for watching this review. If you guys enjoyed this video, then of course the like rating is always appreciated, and if you'd like to see more videos similar to this one, feel free to subscribe. If there's something I could have done better in this video, I've been trying to work on talking slower because it's a lot of feedback I've gotten recently, so if there's something I could have done better or something like that, please leave a comment and letting me know what I could do better so that I can improve the quality of my videos in the future. But of course, the link to purchase your product will will be in the description as it always is, so if you'd like to check that out, you are totally able to do so. This has been Jordan for Joe Reviews. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.